Hello, and welcome back to Black Girl Couch Reviews. I'm your host, Christina. We are back for the penultimate episode of Severance, Season 1, Episode 8, What's for Dinner, written by Chris Black, directed by Ben Stiller. I gave this episode an 8.9 out of 10. It felt like a lot of setup to what we know is going to be some reveals next episode, some weirdness thrown in there. But for the most part, things were pretty level. No birth this week. I was really dissatisfied to see that. Now that he's retiring, that devastates me even more, because that makes me think that that was the last of their romance. That was the last time that this particular character is going to be seen downstairs, or are they? If you want to send feedback for our next episode, which is the finale, blackgirlcouch@gmail.com, wherever you're listening to this podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean. Do me a favor, go down to the rating section, drop some stars, leave a review. My social media will be there as well. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. So we start with Irving this week and his outie. We're just going to go in my directional notes, which are pretty, I believe, sequential with the events. And we have Irving, who is outside with his dog. He lives in Lenora Homes, seems to be drawing a lot of paintings leading to the elevator in black. And it also explains why he is seeing the blackness come from the sky or the ceiling in this case, or from his desk when he's working, because Irving seems to be blending, or his mind seems to be blending into his other reality. Back in the any world, they are needing for Helly to make quota so that they can enact their particular plan. It doesn't happen if she doesn't make it. She is confident that she will. Harmony is as well. He goes to speak to the boys because they're like, shouldn't you be doing something? We've been done for like months. That's also hilarious, like all of the time that you give to your job, when technically most of that shit can be done in such a short amount of time. So maybe it's not about getting so much work done as much as all of the social things that go on behind the scenes. Irving says, Mark, don't laugh. Let's stand behind her and chant her name. Mark didn't laugh, but I did. Harmony is obsessed with Mark and his wellness sessions and orders one completed, because she said, let's just prepare for when she does make it. Milchek is not so sure. We find out his first name is Seth, and she tries to intimidate him, which backfires later on. What the fuck even was that congratulations pixelated thing that came out that was Kira's message to everyone when they make their quota? It's personalized. Helly, you made it. I'm proud of you. I love you. Before flying away, and everyone is so, despite how they're feeling, they can't help but be taken in a little bit, including Helly, by the founder giving them such a profound message. So due to everyone meeting the quota, they get to have a waffle party, and the precursor to that is an egg party, but they're deviled eggs. The thing about the deviled eggs makes me think that this is definitely hell, which apparently has a lower floor. Let not weakness live in your veins. That is what Mark sees after he's told that he's going to a wellness visit with Miss Casey on the wall before she brings him in. But before that, the plan, as they discuss in various spaces in this room that are not monitored, despite the fact sometimes we see that they are, that's always going to be the big hiccup, right? I'm not too focused on it. I can just believe that, hey, this is limited staff. they want you to be everywhere at one place, and I can't do that. I can't watch you all the time. I have this whole other list of shit. We don't even know how many departments there are. So I'm willing to go with it, but I could see a lot of people being so hung up on that because they just can't believe it. But technically, just test yourself when you're in a big building in an office and tell me about how many things you actually pay attention going on in that building. Or take into account that you got that one security guard and it's a fucking campus. So, they are going to use the waffle party, as stated earlier, as the opportunity to switch them on so that they all know what their lives are like. And Dylan, who is more than willing to stay behind despite Helly saying maybe it should be her because he has a son and she wants him to be able to have that, that's something that's a precious thing to have a child. I'm just me. And wants to sacrifice for that. And that was very sweet. But he says, no, this is just the beginning. And we all need to have the right to know what it is that we're even fighting for as we start this fight. At the wellness check, Miss Casey is being retired because the tree is gone. Her shit's in boxes. With Mark feeling bad, she tells him after he tries to get her to open up eventually that they just told me right before this particular session I've only been alive for 170 hours, which I did have to do some math on, and it's just about 3 days. And she said that the time spent with them observing Helly is the happiest that she's been. She only gets the 30-minute session wellness checks, and she hasn't really had, like she says, I like that interaction between you guys. Milchek and Harmony watch this interaction, with Harmony elated to see that they do have a bond or seem to care, but I think that Mark S is just a caring person. He doesn't want to see anyone. I love that Dylan has a crush on Miss Casey, even though he says he's over it. We're just friends. However, we see that Mark is not into Miss Casey, but he's totally into Helly. All she got to do is smile at him and his frown turns upside down.
You so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Hit it from the back and drive you wild. Yeah. Girl, I lose myself.
However, when the two just go back to business as normal, as he says, maybe I can do something for you. Maybe that will be allowed. That is when Harmony is disappointed because they don't seem to remember each other, which Milchek says is a good thing, but depresses her. And then we have to go to my crack theory at this point, because I don't have much else to go on. Is this some life after death type shit? Is Harmony using Mark and his love to see if it can be recreated after death, or if they are doing the reanimation of conscious mind, or worse, retrieving a conscious mind from someone who is dead, which I don't know even how that possibly could work, but whatever it is, I'm thinking that it leads to something involving death and wanting to escape that. It reminds me a lot of Westworld. Like, remember me, those memories, those feelings, those emotions, that they're real. And sometimes you want to keep that continuing on. That's the thing that keeps you wanting to go on. I don't know. I just know that this woman, clearly everyone believes that she is dead, and she has come from somewhere called the testing floor, which we see Milchek send her down a long hallway to, which is also what Irving has been drawing, the hallway to this said elevator. And it feels as if there's a testing floor and this is the next floor up, even they are still truly babies in comparison to how high up this particularly goes. Then you have the whole split mind of it all. Like, part of you gets to move on, part of you gets to continue in this simulated life. I also wonder if they're just standing on that elevator the entire time, because all of this is in their mind, right? And I thought about that when we see another scene with Harmony. And before I go off on too many tangents and lose where I am, that's my crackpot theory at this point, that this maybe the board has a different idea, but Harmony definitely seems to be seeking some connection to her deceased loved ones, including this old man, and certainly her daughter. The egg party has disco lights as well. Milchek comes in with the cart and his ever put in place smile with all those white teeth, and he gives the special gift for being the best performed of the quarter to Dylan once again. Everyone looks at it. They all are happy to see it, even though I didn't get to see it because I was like the whole time, what's in the box, man? What's in the box?
It's my dick in a box. My dick in a box, baby.
My favorite line is when he said, as sharp as his incisors. And his face never, ever dropped his cheery disposition, but there was so much animosity behind that. Like, I ain't forgot at all. Natalie shows up and fires Harmony for the suicide attempt not reported 3 weeks ago, and the espionage she's been doing with Mark's sister Devon that was not authorized. She immediately says, or asks, did Milchek do this? And the fact that he ran out very quickly, having leaked said photos, because there's only 2 people there, she knows who exactly ratted her out. And I don't think that's a position you want to be in if Harmony ever gets back some power, which I'm pretty sure she will, considering things are about to go real sideways after she was removed from her command, which is probably going to make one, if she's smart, she fixes the situation next episode possibly. I don't know. This can go anyway. It could go with Harmony being like, you know what, let me join in with you guys. Which I kind of almost would be down with as well, because she would know more than anyone. And at the end, she definitely feels like the disillusionment came off. And maybe something about the fact that they couldn't be remembered, that's something that she was promised. She was told that reintegration wasn't possible. She has confirmation that it is. And they seem to not want anything that she's trying to offer. So she could turn to the other side. That would be amazing, actually. But she sees Natalie and gets really upset, tells her to fuck off, and asks if the board is really there. And a man replies yes before disconnecting the call. Natalie just walks out.
You're gone. Fired. Out of here. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
And it got me thinking, is all of these people in some way severed? I don't know. Who goes in and out, if they're severed or if they're not? I do not believe. I think that anyone who doesn't go downstairs the elevator is not severed. And I bet you once they're down on that elevator, they're probably not staying on the elevator because that'd be silly. However, I bet you that they're either on the testing floor or on another floor where they're just sitting comfortably. But they seem to wake up on but your body just can't stand there that amount of time. So how do they do that? I'm curious. Irving chooses his love of Bert over Kier by quoting the man himself, staring at his photo, then squishing an egg in his compliance book.
The price is wrong, bitch.
We then got more of Helly and Mark sitting in a tree. Kissing, and she did kiss him. before they went on their mission. He's been getting mad ass this season. He's been getting it from, he's got a wife. He's got Alexa, but I don't think Alexa's coming back. He's got Helly. He's got Miss Casey. He's got them all. Dylan is escorted to the perpetuity wing where there are waffles. And I'm not gonna lie, I would have been tearing those mofos up too. Plus, he's looking for his opportunity. The plate says go to the man's bed. This whole thing was just fucking weird. But before we get into the creepiness that is this waffle party, Harmony crying and yelling at Natalie like she's the one that fired her was so fucking hysterical. I could not stop. Because she's like, on one moment she's like angry, but she's also really sad. So she goes between the two emotions. And I am not ashamed to say I have been in my younger self on that emotional ride. My younger self. I've had, not very often, but I've had days like that where you're so mad that you're crying because you're mad and you're hurt at the same time. I felt that. She's like, just call her every name in the book. That fucking bitch, stupid ass cunt, motherfucker. Like, I'm only the messenger. I didn't actually technically fire you. So Dylan wears the Kira head and goes to the founder's bed, and these 4 people come in different shaped heads. One's a Joker, one's a woman. They're all dancing pretty provocatively. And this is the waffle party. And it feels weird as hell. Words that I saw next to the head before he picked it up was probity, which is like following your morals and some shit. Wiles, humility, benevolence, numbness, vision. Jesus, it's definitely cult rhetoric. He has to wear this man's head, and I don't get it. I don't get that part. Are they just not supposed to recognize each other? But if that is all a part of what Severance is great at, why are they concerned about the risk? But they put everybody's flavor in there. They was like, here's a white woman, a black woman, and if you like dick, here's some of that too. Harmony gets home, rages the fuck out, takes down all of her memorabilia, destroys the altar, which was already unhealthy, and grabs the breathing tube that she kept from her deceased daughter. Mark knocks on her door and invites her over to Ricken's party. She's like, oh, I'm not in the mood. Well, if I drive my own car, I can just leave if I feel uncomfortable or afraid. I love Harmony so much. I love Patricia Arquette. Because she changed her tune so quick. She's like, actually. And that is my, I do not ride with friends. I never ride with friends to anywhere. I need to drive my own vehicle. So in case I feel uncomfortable or disinterested, I can just leave. So that's my reasoning. Mark gets to the party. Ricken greets him. He's like, did you bring a copy of your book so you can read along? Shoot, I forgot it by my bed. And, it's 15 minutes for you to... He really was going to tell him to go back home and get that book. Mark talks to Mrs. Sevig and tells her he thinks it's time that he quit because he doesn't need it anymore. And she surprisingly supports him and gives him a hug. Taking heart to work is just work. The work. Whatever the work is. It's a good thing that Mark S.'s face is in Patricia Arquette's bosom, because Dylan, after seeing this crazy dance, dips out behind a panel and ends up in the in the security room, follows the directions, which he hid in the plaque that we finally got to see, and is able to finally click the overtime button. But of course, the episode goes off before we get into conclusion, and I'm not surprised, even though I did say
kiss my entire ass.
So I'm excited for the finale. It will be coming on Saturday. I moved a few things around because I had something on my calendar that actually hasn't dropped yet. So once again, if you want to send feedback, blackgirlcouch@gmail.com. You can leave a comment below. My social media will be there as well. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, peace, hair grease, and black girl magic.